I'm so sorry, guys, about that.
Hey,
Um, so, welcome to the SIG Node CI Group Weekly. Today is Feb 21. We have already discussed Kevin's items on the agenda. I'll just quickly walk over the ones that I have on my agenda. So, last time we were looking at this. NFS related tests are failing since 2.7, and I see some comments here by Dims and Kevin. And this is kind of work in progress. Can I assume that, Kevin? Like Dims is already looking into it, and
Yeah, I think he has a PR up, and then he added a pre-submit to kind of test it. I don't know. Yeah, it's in progress.
okay, I'll just assume for now that it's in progress, and then follow up next time again. Then there was one more in which I was supposed to follow up with SIG test infra, and I think Ed was supposed to send me a link about some conversation on the Slack. I just want to check if that is correct.
I don't remember actually. So can you remind me what was it?
I'm trying to see what are the test failures here. There were some test infra related failures, or are these the test failures?
Yeah, I think I sent. So it's not a conversation on the Slack. It was another issue or another job failure with the same symptoms, as far as I
Yeah,
remember.
yeah.
I sent it in this chat in. I don't know if you have access to previous sessions. So I found it like while we were on the meeting still and sent it.
Can you please add it to the doc later if possible, and I'll be able
Okay,
to.
I'll try to find it and
Okay.
add to the docs.
Okay. Thank you. Moving on to the next one. This was related to watch of Pod V1. I was not able to find an owner for this, and I think this was for a forked repo. Cause and effect are reversed. Watch closed. Uh, yeah, this said that the company has made some magic changes to the kubelet. So I think we are not gonna look into any of the fork issues in the fork repos. And one last one. Yeah, I was able to find an owner for this sidecar container readiness result to be used in pod ready state also for this policy. Restart never. And I see a PR here. And trial accepted. So what are the next steps here? Do we have to, this looks like a PR that would need approver and,
Well, sorry to interrupt. I think we can accept it and find reviewers for it. I think that it's a feature as part of, I think it's part of Sidecar, so priority is pretty low.
okay. Does anyone want to review? If not, I'll add it back to my list. Does anyone want to
It
take
looks
a
like
look at this one?
I don't think Todd is on the call, but it looks like he is looking at it already.
Okay. Sounds good. So I'll just add Todd here for now. And then we have one more item in the agenda. Failing test pull Kubernetes local E2E. These jobs are failing. The reason for failure is stopping Docker program process in PID file. The Docker SSD PID refused to, and cleaning up after Docker in Docker, cleaning up after Docker. That's not the reason for failure. We don't exit non-zero on this. Okay, let's check. Full Kubernetes local E2E. Is anyone aware of this particular job?
So this one fails for the JUnit, but if you go back in the test grid, you will notice that, yeah, exactly. So you see in 15, 16, everything has passed all the tests, and then this failed. So I opened the issue for this case because I noticed. So for some reason there is this, and I saw that Dim he pushed a commit and he added a timeout 30
Mm-hmm.
because it seems there is an issue with the Linux kernel where it doesn't terminate the Docker in Docker, which is being
Okay.
used. So yeah, and this blocks all. I mean, if someone wants to push something in local app cluster, it will fail because this job will fail. So yeah.
Okay. My question here is: do we take care of the SIG testing miscellaneous in SIG Node CI? I am.
No,
I don't think we do, but anyway, where did you see the PR for the timeout for 30 seconds?
it was a commit. I can put it in the ticket. I will find it and add it as a comment.
Okay, so do you think that would resolve the issue then?
This was, it doesn't resolve it. So the assumption was that this will resolve it 2 months ago, but it seems it reappears even with 30 seconds. So I've pushed a PR as a, to kill it, but yeah, I think it's good.
Where's your PR?
It is up a little bit up.
Is there a pre-submit or something that you can run as a part of PR to see if that would resolve the issue?
I cannot. This is, I don't know how to run it. I cannot. I run it in my local machine. It works, but I don't know which Linux kernel they're using and if it's possible to somehow check it.
Okay, I'll assign this to myself and reach out to Ben to see if he can help me out with this. Does that
Okay,
sound good to
thanks.
you?
Thanks.
Okay. We'll quickly move over on to the bug triage dashboard. I'm skipping the test triage, but if anyone wants to do the test triage after 10:40, please feel free to. The first one is again the same one related to the custom fork. I might remove it from the list later. Readiness probe success during pre-stop hook causes replica scaling. We are using readiness and liveness probe in the deployment while pre-stop hook is set to sleep 60 in order to gracefully shut down pods. When we update a deployment by setting a new image, a new pod is created. Due to slow start of JVM, it accidentally failed all initial readiness and liveness probe attempts. Then the pre-stop hook is called and the pod is scheduled to be killed after a period of time. According to the current design, the readiness probe will not be stopped, and in some cases, we observed that the readiness probe passed and the new RS was scaled up while the old replica set was scaled down. Okay, but this pod will be terminated after 60 seconds, so after some time, no pod is healthy. The readiness probe does not lead to reconcile of deployment controller. The timeline is designed accordingly. We started with Kubernetes 1.22. Then we write a sample Go application to control when the probes can pass. I'm trying to see if there is someone. Uh, the behavior is consistent across 122 and 127, but we are not pretty sure if this is a feature or bug. I want to seek help from the community. We're bringing this up to the broad perspective. There is an issue raised to it. Thanks for the ticket. The documentation should be clearer about how. So this looks like it requires an update in the documentation. Am I correct? As per the last comments, it looks like the behavior needs to be documented properly. Uh, does anyone want to look into it, or does anyone know what's the process around how I can replicate this and then document?
It seems like the original reporter is agreeing that it's a documentation issue.
You said the original author of
Well,
this.
No, sorry. Who is this person who is saying that this is a documentation issue? Is this the author of the issue?
No. Yes, the author of the issue. And then, yeah, it's just the author of the issue. So I think the next steps would be finding someone from SIG Node who can confirm that this is the documentation issue, correct?
I haven't looked into it deeply, but the original reporter is saying it's a documentation, then it should be okay for us to accept it. They're not pursuing it to be fixed.
Okay.
Mm.
Does anyone want to take a look at it?
You
You
can
mean
just assign
okay?
it to me.
Thank you so much.
Yeah.
Then this needs to be moved to triage, right?
Yeah, I think so.
Okay. I don't know. I lost it. HTTP probes that do return 200 but hang afterwards do not fail if their size is above 10 KB. I think we looked at this and this is already assigned and just not moved to triage accepted. Pod loses network connection during pre-stop period. I'm running a Spring Boot HTTP server and HTTP client where the client sends requests to the server using this. Both server and client communicate over keep alive session and the server is configured with pre-stop hook set to 10 seconds during rolling updates. The issue is when performing a rolling update on the server, the client experiences or two times of connection reset error. Each connection reset error occurs immediately as each server pod enters the terminating state. Despite the pre-stop being 10 seconds, we should theoretically allow existing keep alive sessions to continue while accepting new HTTP traffic. As a result of the keep alive sessions, should be maintained with pod A are transferred to pod B. Let me see if we have. Can you please paste this? Okay. Using 1.15. I think this anyway we do not support. Assuming HTTP1 keep alive reuses the connection but does not allow the parallel request on the same connection as HTTP2 does. Can you confirm that this is not in parallel? Terminating endpoint solve this problem in 126. So I
But I
think
think they require more information from the author, correct?
yes, that is what it looks like.
Mm.
Uh, just moved it to needs information.
Should this be bug moved to needs information or should we close it considering they are saying they're using
1.5, right?
1.15?
Yeah.
If they still use it, they can reopen this if they are using new and they still see the issue.
Okay. Uh,
But there is a question there. I think it says, "Can you confirm?" So he hasn't responded yet. The author, correct?
yeah, I
Yeah,
think
correct. The author has not responded, but considering they have filed the issue with that version which is not supported, should our approach should be that we close it and then they can reopen it if they see the issue in the latest version as well.
Mm. Yeah.
That way we have some conclusion on this without waiting for author to
yeah, I
come back.
think so too. If they see the same issue in 126, they can just reopen it. Should I go ahead
You
with
can
close?
you can mention that by the way, that saying feel free to open if it's
Um, Kubelet ignores optional CRI runtime conditions. Kubelet will not rely on them, but it should somehow make them visible by kubectl. The CRI API states that the optional runtime conditions will be exposed to user to help them understand the status of the system, but the conditions are not visible via the kubectl get nodes command, still visible via pryctl info. Okay, the runtime condition. Implement an optional runtime condition. Make sure that the added condition is visible via kubectl info, but the condition is not visible via kubectl nodes. Okay. Right now, it seems to be looking only for two conditions specifically, and everything else seems to be getting ignored. Out of curiosity, I do not see any requirement that type has to be a positive phrase. So, how would one interpret the arbitrary type string to decide if this is an error case or not? Okay. Container will expose container has no deprecation warning conditions like this. Okay. The condition is set to true when there is no warning about deprecated features being used. It's great UX to submit an arbitrary condition on the node object. It can create confusion since there is no standardization on those. So containerd, kata, and cryo clusters will provide different conditions. Still better than watching entire daemon logs though. Um, Node conditions are meant to be representing the node status. Mm,
I don't think this is a bug. I mean, I
yeah.
think probably what this person, they're suggesting a change, but I don't know. I think maybe we should change it from a kind bug to a kind feature.
Okay.
And then,
And like Antonio has mentioned in one of the comments, right? There are multiple different container runtimes, and then there will be all different conditions. So it doesn't even make sense to add it, right? But I can anyway go ahead and add. Yeah, go ahead, Kevin.
sorry, my network's being bad.
Okay. Is that all?
Yeah, I think you can mark it to done.
Okay. I think this is work in progress. I'm also looking at the PR. Let me read it again. For every huge page resource, we need to remove it from allocatable memory. When updating node allocatable limit across pods, I think there is a PR corresponding for it that's out for review, but the author has not um, added the E2E test. Since there is a PR, how can I open the PR through the issue? Is there a feature that links the PRs corresponding to an issue here? Are these the PRs?
Are you the author of the PR, or is
I
this someone
mean,
else?
no, I'm not the author. It's someone else.
So typically, I think GitHub has a hook in there that if you have the description as fixes and then you tag the issue number, it automatically links. But you have to have edit access to that issue
I
to
see.
do. Otherwise, you can comment on it and then it will show up at the bottom. Not much better way.
Okay. Um, I think yeah. I assigned it to Harshal. Harshal, and I was also looking at the PR. So where do I move this to? Is
Uh,
this
yeah,
looks triaged, right?
yeah, for sure.
Okay, sounds good. What did I do?
I think you moved it to needs information.
Okay. Uh, Parallel pod deletion makes kubectl stuck forever. Kubectl delete pod may become stuck during execution of the following steps. Restart kubelet. Force remove all containers for static pods. Okay. Try to delete some static pod. Kubectl prints that the pod is deleted, but it never exists. It seems that the problem is caused by parallel deletion of the pod by kubelet. What do you expect to happen? Kubectl exits, install single node cluster, run the script, uh, restart the kubelet, and then remove process name. Okay. Okay. What?
I'm gonna write it, but I mean, I don't. It's not clear to me what's the support for if you delete the static pods that Kubernetes relies on. Like, sorry, things aren't gonna work.
Dikshita, can you tag Clayton on this one?
Sure. Do you know what's going on here?
So usually this is related to pod workers, and he's generally the expert in that.
Okay. I can also reach out to him. Okay, I'm gonna still keep it in the same list here for now.
You can also CC me by the way. Sorry, I forgot to mention.
This is the one.
Yeah,
Yes.
this is the one.
I'll still keep it in the list so that we can follow up on this next time as well. Kubernetes node resource may not have provider ID populated when using external cloud provider. Okay. When using an external out-of-band cloud provider, the responsibility of adding the provider ID to the node resource moves from kubelet to the node controller. However, because of this change, kubelet will create a node without the provider ID specified and may mark the node as ready. This has become an issue in GK where workloads are scheduled on the nodes, but external networking cannot proceed because the provider ID is missing, leading to possible downtimes every time a new node is created. So provider ID is missing here. This issue is still active. Yes, this is active. We are seeing it in 126 SIG network. Are we not tainting the node? Sorry. Okay. So this looks like an issue related to when the kubelet uses external credential provider. I have some context around it, so I'll assign it to myself and follow up with Dawn and other people tagged here. Yeah, I think I am done for now because I have to go for my appointment. Does anyone want to drive the rest of the meeting or should we call it a day here? Okay, so we'll call it a day here and we'll meet next time. Thank you very much, everyone.
Thank you. Bye.
Bye.